That's a really
like looking back, like man, like because I'm pretty sure people were like you said, you were distant from your family. Pretty sure people were like, man, that dude ain't gonna be nothing. You go to jail, you're in jail for all this time, and then God literally transforms your whole life, like completely. Gangs, like I look at you now and I'm like, this dude ain't no gangs. Like even when I shake your hand, I'm like, his hands don't feel like they be fighting. Like he ain't fought nobody, man. Your hands, you put some lotion on. Like, your hands too soft for you to be fighting. It's like God did literally gave you a whole new identity.
He did,
and redeemed you. Like how do you just like process that, man? I know it's a loaded question, but it's just
it's a big thing, man. I mean, I sometimes I try to process and go back and count my blessings, you know. My wife really helps me with that. You know what I mean? Like when an enemy starts attacking me, like, man, what's going on? You know, things like that. You know, my wife has to remind me, like, babe, listen, let me just tell you something. And she goes through the whole thing, you know. Babe, you were this, and this, facing this. God deliver you. You then went this, you know, had your license. My license was revoked. All these other things, man. God allowed me to get my license back. All these things to a master's degree. And I'll be honest, man, to this day, it's really hard to fathom it. I'll be totally honest, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've really grasped the fullness of all the things that God has done in my life, man. You know what I mean? And so it helps me when I go back, and I know it sounds like a cliche, but when I go back to like really count my blessings, it's mind blowing, man. It's like, it's so fresh for me because all of those experiences, even though I've been out of jail for, God have mercy, man, it was 2000, what was that, 2001. You know what I mean? We're in 2025, you know what I mean?
24 years.
Yeah, 24 years. And for me, it almost feels like it was a couple years ago. That's how deep these experiences been in my life, where it's just like I can touch that still, like it's still fresh in my brain, in my life. And so it kind of like takes me forward there. But in the other side of it, I'm grateful for that freshness because it keeps me humble.
You not forget.
Yes, man. It allows me to know where I came from and where God is trying to take me to. And I can't even explain how it is. I would imagine I'm not the only one. But literally, I take it as God's grace that I haven't fathomed it all, even though I went through it all.
Yeah.
But it's so fresh, man. And it really helps me remain humbled and everything else. Because as you know, when I'm preaching, sometimes I'm the first person at the altar. And yet I'm the one who preached the message. You know what I mean? And all this experience have taught me that while, and I really even believe it helps me be the pastor that I am today, recognizing all the stuff that God brought me through, all the stuff God forgave me of, you know what I mean? All the mistakes I've made, that it reminds me of, I still haven't made it. And I still need Jesus as much as the people that I'm preaching to. And so it keeps me humbled, that freshness of the experience that I had in my life that lets me know, like, man, look, the moment I get comfortable and this thing is no longer fresh, is probably a moment that I don't want to be in, that I think I have it all together. You know what I mean? And it's never that, you know?
Two more things before we get out of here.
Yeah.
How...
I know, right?
How does your past experiences impact how you lead today?
Gracefully, yet very direct. You know, like one of the things that God had taught me in my life was that he didn't want to deliver me from gang banging. He just wanted me to gang bang for him. Yeah. And that's a statement I say a lot. You know what I mean? God never wanted me to stop banging. He just wanted me to bang for him the same way I was gang banging for the devil. And so that really shapes my life, the way I preach, the way I teach, the way I do discipleship, how I deal with other people. You know what I mean? Is that I'm very, as you know, I'm a very type A kind of person, very direct, don't cut no corners.
Yeah, some people can't handle that.
Some people can't, you know what I mean? But my experience and where I came from is I really didn't know how good God is until I really realized how bad I was. You know what I mean? We really don't appreciate the salvation of God until we really realize how lost we were. And so part of my preaching and the ministry that God has me in is to really be very direct with that and expose that side of ourselves as a fallen race, a human race, to that degree so that we can appreciate what God did for the human race and for us as individuals, his salvation. So it really shapes how I deal with people in their sin, deal with people who have backslid and trying to come back, who are in a fallen state, if you will, after being saved, you know what I mean? Who have experienced all type of things that I remember I went through horrible things. And I want to let you know that God has seen people to the end and changed them. One of the things that God told me while I was in my ex-marriage still, I was in this whirlpool we had as a bathtub, and I'm reading a book. It was Joyce Myers when Joyce Myers was Joyce Myers, and it was called If Not for the Grace of God, right? And I'm reading this book, you know what I mean? It wasn't the first time I read that book. And I remember meditating on a statement that she made in that book, and it was some scriptures that I really felt this conviction of the Spirit of God speaking to me and telling me every mistake that I was going to make, every falling and backslidden part of my life, God is going to use all of it to help those that I have lost, that are lost, that once knew him. So it was like my life was purposed in a way that was very unorthodox when you think about it in the Christian world, you know what I mean, of people and how they're normally doing church and everything else, was that I was an oddball in the mix. Yeah. Even in my last church, like I think one of the things that really brought a lot of hindrance was that they couldn't put me in a box. Here's this dude that sounds like a gang member or whatever still, but yet he loves the Lord and all these other things or whatever. It's like we can't put a box to put him in. Yeah. You know what I mean? And a lot of people get intimidated from that. A lot of people kind of get afraid of that, or they'll even say, you're lost, you're not really saved or something like that. Like, something about you, man, you don't look like anybody else.
Like it's Christianity, it's cookie cutter, like everybody else.
Yeah, like we got to put you, you're cookie cutter, we don't have one for you. And a lot of people don't know how to relate to that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I believe because of that, God has called me to the place where I'm at today, and the people that he has brought to my church and saved and allowed me to minister to and disciple, was that these are same people that you can't put a box for these people. There's no cookie cutter for these kind of people, but yet these people love the Lord and God wants to save them. And a lot of them are from gangs, drugs and everything else.